And by the way, I guess I should taste one, shouldn't I? Because I don't think I did that for you guys. Let me show you how good they are. Oh. Hi guys, this is Amy, and by the way, as you will notice, I am not in my little kitchen. I'm visiting one of my kids, and so I'm in their kitchen. And the funny thing is, I don't know, you guys tell me, most of the time when you are in someone else's kitchen, you all could probably function, better in someone else's kitchen than I do. It's so hard for me because at home in my own little kitchen, I have everything set up. I love my island. That's my workstation. I can walk around it. I don't need stools for it or anything. I know where everything is, and I've got so much stuff. In fact, basically, I have way too much stuff, like pots and pans and baking pans and all this other stuff. When it comes to the gadgets, all I have is a food processor, a blender, a mixer, an immersion blender. I think that's about it. I don't have an Instapot. I don't have a, why is it when I do these videos, I gotta sneeze or something? Oh my goodness. Anyway, so when I'm in someone else's kitchen, I'm like, okay, how do I function here? Especially when there's no stools around, only one stool, and where are all this stuff? We're making muffins today, and there's only one muffin pan. I have like 12, cup muffin pan. Anyway, the whole point being is, I love that challenge of being in someone else's kitchen and still being able to function. I wasn't sure what ingredients they would have here, so I packaged all the ingredients for what I needed, just to make sure. I got some nuts, walnuts, brown sugar. We are making, I'm using whole wheat pastry flour instead of just whole wheat flour. I wanted to I'm not used to doing whole wheat baking because whole wheat is kind of different than, your all-purpose flour or your cake flour or regular pastry flour. I don't know. I don't have the experience with doing a lot with whole wheat. So I find that it can dry out, your baked goods if you're not careful, or the temperature, or how long you're cooking it and that. So I chose to use whole wheat pastry flour for this recipe. So we are making, what am I titling this? Well, duh. Excuse me. Whole wheat banana muffins. And on top of the banana muffins will be chopped up walnuts, kind of like with a little brown sugar coated and just a little bit of salt. And if you haven't tried these are really they've got a little crunch. They're called cocoa nibs. I got these at the farmer's market. And I think they're really, instead of like chocolate chips or something, just to add that little bit of crunch on top of it. So that's what I'm gonna add to this too. And we've got a lot of stuff going on, so let's see if I can pull this off. I got the oven preheated at 375. So I think the first thing I'm gonna do is, in fact, I have ripe bananas at home, so I brought, here, wait a minute. Whoa, they're coming off the stem. I had ripe bananas at home, so I brought them up with me. It's like, perfect. I will make these muffins for them, so we'll have them in the morning and throughout the day. I made this recipe once. I loved them. Chris loved them. And I thought, oh my gosh, I really have to do a video on this and just share it with you all, because kind of a modified recipe, but I absolutely love it. So, I have tons of bowls at home too, as you guys know, if you've watched my videos before. So everything's not separated here. I just put it all together. So I think I'm gonna put the flour mixture in here. So what I have is, I wanna give you, let me put my glasses on again. I wanna give you the exact amount. I have about 1.5 cups of whole wheat flour. So in this is about 1 1/4 cup of whole wheat pastry flour. Whole wheat flour will do fine, but especially if you can't find the whole wheat pastry flour. In fact, I think this is Bob's Red Mill whole wheat pastry flour. And so I have 1 1/4 cup. I've got 1 tablespoon of baking powder. I have okay, let's start over. 1 1/4 cup of whole wheat pastry flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of baking soda. I have about 2 teaspoons of cinnamon in here, and anywhere from 1/8 to 1/4 teaspoon of allspice. I thought that would add a little nice element to it, and about 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And then we're gonna do about 1 cup of mashed bananas. We're gonna have just about 1/4 cup or so, however much this is. I don't even know if that's even 1/4 cup here, because I forgot to bring up honey. So we're gonna use that. And I've got about 1/4 cup of like canola oil. I didn't use olive oil or anything. I used canola oil. We're gonna have 1 egg, and we're gonna have about 1/2 cup of, half a cup of, in fact, I didn't need 2 of these. I bought 2 of these yogurt. Anyway, I chose Greek yogurt, so I have 1/2 cup of Greek yogurt. We're gonna add a little bit of sour cream just to add some more of that creaminess, that moisture, a little bit of that tang to the muffins with all the sweetness of it. And I think that is about it. So let's get going. So as I mentioned, I'm in someone else's kitchen. I came up to visit one of my kids, and we'll see how I can master this. We're making like whole wheat banana muffins with, I'm not even gonna add this to it because these taste good even without the topping. But we're gonna sprinkle on top of the on top of the muffins, a little bit of brown sugar coated walnuts with a little bit of these cocoa nibs. I'll show it to you when I'm done. So I'm gonna go ahead and chop these up. I'm not gonna have them fine, but I don't want them in big chunks either. We're gonna do this all by hand because I didn't feel like getting, she does have a mixer here, but I didn't feel like getting it out. Sometimes it's kind of nice to do stuff by hand. So give me your thoughts when you're in someone else's kitchen. How do you feel? I feel totally out of my element, a little bit uncomfortable, but you know what? The passion for cooking and baking overpowers that challenge. I remember as my kids growing up, I would go over a friend's house, or, they would have a couple of moms over with the kids and, stuff like that. And, I never really helped in the kitchen because, you've got some other average sized women there. They could go up to the sink so readily, get stuff from the high shelves and everything like that. So what my participation is, what I did was cleanup. I brought all the dishes to the sink, or I definitely made sure my kids were not part of the mess. Because I figured, I just don't want to sit there and do nothing. So I did what I could when there were other people over. But usually I don't help too much because it's just awkward for me. So that's why I love my little kitchen. I love cooking. It's one of those things, if you read my book, in fact, I'm almost out of all my books, A Little Me. So if you haven't gotten one already, oof. That's why I probably loved cooking, because it is something I can do in my own little space, just like everyone else. And feel like a part of everybody else. I feel like I'm just like any other home and any other mom and, you know, stuff like that. So I love cooking. I'm not, you know, I do my best at it. Let's put it this way. I don't know. What did I say here? Just cut whatever walnuts you want. Could be, I don't know, for 12 muffins. Half a cup or something. I'm gonna add a few more here. Just in case. Because you know what, if I don't need them all, they're big enough chunks. They're great over yogurt. They're great over, you know, other stuff. Whoa. One thing I don't have to worry about too much is what falls on the floor and what is Daisy gonna get. Okay. I'm almost done here. I really didn't get out another bowl, but that's okay. Because you know what, all my bowls, baking bowls and stuff like that are down low because I use them so much. But here they're up a little higher, so I'll be okay. I'll just manage. Okay, these are probably too many nuts, but okay, I think that's enough. I'm gonna have to sweep up this floor afterwards. Okay. I think this is the only thing I have to chop up anyway. Okay, we got our walnuts chopped. I'm gonna do mash the bananas up here. We're gonna do all of our wet ingredients here. And I'm sure a lot of you guys know this already. Ripe bananas have the most flavor. They're easier, obviously, to mash. And they're so good. So depending on what size your bananas are, 2 to 3. I think 3 is good, especially when you're using whole wheat flour. It just creates more moisture in it, more moisture in your baked goods, and I think they won't have a tendency to be dried out. That's why I love adding just a little bit of sour cream to this. So we're gonna add 3 ripe bananas, and we're just gonna kind of mash them. Now, if these aren't totally mashed and you got small little chunks, I think that's great too. When you bite into that muffin and you get a little bit of that banana, you know, stuck to it. So we're gonna mix all, look at this. This is what happens when you have ripe bananas. They're just perfect. I don't think 4. I think 4 will make the banana muffins too wet. Okay. We're gonna add our 1 egg in. I think I'm gonna add in my yogurt. That's about a half a cup. Oh no, oops, that's the yogurt. Add in some whatever sour cream they had here because I forgot to bring that up. That's okay, I'm just gonna add 1, 2 tablespoons. That'll be good. Because Greek yogurt, I also think, is not as moisture packed as his regular plain yogurt. I know this looks very wet, doesn't it? But believe me, trust me, this worked. At least it worked the first time. This is brand new oil because I brought this up just in case. Just in case they didn't have any. Why is it this never works? There we go. Have you ever done that and didn't peel off this part and then it went into the oil? I'm like, oh goodness. I think that's happened to me before, probably several times. It's all good. How much oil did I say? About a quarter of a cup. I'm going to guess this because I don't know where the measuring cups are. I'm going to say, ooh, that's about enough. We're going to use the rest of this honey, because I'm sure this is about a quarter of a cup. That'll just add that extra little sweetness. I think this works well instead of using granulated like white sugar. One thing I didn't do prior to all of this, and I'm going to do this, I'm going to mix up all our ingredients first before I combine the wet to the dry. Because I want to toast up my nuts so the muffins just aren't sitting there. And I also want to grease my muffin pan. I didn't do that ahead of time. So, let's put this over there. Okay. Oh yeah, I can't forget about the egg. The egg binds everything together. There we go. Oops. Okay. Make sure this is all, I hope I added enough oil. That's one thing I don't do well is visualize. Like, that's why it takes me time to make up the recipes. Because I have to think, oh my God, what is a quarter cup? Okay, I have to get out the measuring cup. It's like, okay, that's right. Or thereabouts. Okay. And like I said before, the dry ingredients, I mixed them all together. 1 1/4, I think I already said this. 1 1/4 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, a little bit of salt, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, about 1/4 teaspoon of allspice, and I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. Oh, I gotta add the brown sugar. Oh my gosh. What am I doing? I add the brown sugar. Oops. Oh dear. I should have measured this one. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and grease my pan, toast my nuts, and then we're going to be pretty much ready to go. Okay, well, and guess what? I scrounged around and I did find another muffin pan. So I don't have to do these in 2 batches. I'm so excited about that. So I'm going to do the wet into the dry. Make sure, you know me, I like to get all of the stuff from the bowl, because we can't leave good stuff in there. I'm just going to gently fold this. Make sure it's all mixed in. I know you can't really see it, but, and if you have a few spots where the flour is showing, don't worry about that too much, but and hopefully with the flour, the baking powder, and the baking soda sitting with each other for a while, this will still turn out well. Okay. And the one thing I always want to make sure is that make sure you get down to the very bottom, because just like the mixer, sometimes it doesn't always get to the very bottom, and then you have this dry little flour bit. Okay. So my nuts are done. I'm going to fill up my pans. Oh yeah, see a little clump of flour there. So this will just take me a moment. Sorry, this may be the boring part for you guys. I guess with this bowl here, it is boring. Okay, one down, one more to go. Okay. I don't know, maybe just a little bit more in this. I don't want too shallow of a muffin. There we go. Okay. And like I said, the oven is preheated to 375, and we'll cook these. I don't know, my pan is covering my directions. I'm going to give you the correct approximate time anyway. Okay. Do this. I think it'll be faster this way now. And usually this makes 12. So I do have a little batter left over, but I'm just going to make sure I have filled enough of these up. You know, looks like it. I didn't have batter left over before, so I might be able to squeeze another muffin or two out of this. Okay. Just kind of wipe this off a little bit. All right. Set that on top of there for a minute. Oh yeah. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of nuts on there with a little bit of brown sugar and salt cooked together. Just a little bit, just to give it that little crunch. And we're gonna put these in the oven for, why didn't I say this? Oh yeah, here we go. Your typical time frame, about 20-25 minutes. All depends on your oven. I would say probably give it, yeah, 20 to 25 minutes, really. And if you, like I said, if you don't want nuts in here, you don't have to have them. You could top it off with these little cocoa nibs. Give it that little chocolatey flavor. Okay, here we go. I'm just gonna put some chocolate nibs on here. I tell you, these are so, because they're not as big as chocolate chips, but I'll show you what they look like. think I just got coffee delivered to me. Ew. See, this is what it looks like. It's just these little cocoa nibs, not chocolate, cocoa nibs. And then I gently press down on this so it kind of adheres to the muffin. And it's not like a topping that when you bite into it, it all, you know, comes off. I wanted it kind of bake on top of the muffin. But if you have another topping for your banana muffin, you know, feel free to add that. I just like a little crunch to my banana muffin. I think that's pretty cool. Ooh, I think that muffin may overflow on me. Okay. Here we go, in the oven, 20 to 25 minutes. I'll see you guys back here. Whole wheat banana muffins. And again, I'm using someone else's oven, so I'm not sure how fast these will cook. So it really depends on your oven. But, you know, check it at 20 minutes and stick a toothpick in it or a very, very sharp knife. And if the dough comes, or if the knife or the toothpick comes out clean, then I think you're set to go. But you might have to go to 25 minutes. So I'll see you back here. Okay, I made those banana muffins. And as you can see, they were good because I made 24 and there's only 4 left. So hopefully you'll give these whole wheat banana muffins a try. You can put whatever topping you want on it, but check it out over at amyroloffslittlekitchen.com or the YouTube channel, Amy Roloff's Little Kitchen. I'd love for you to go there, subscribe, and you'll find a whole bunch of other recipes in there. So anyway, thank you for joining me. They're great muffins. And by the way, I guess I should taste one, shouldn't I? Because I don't think I did that for you guys. Let me show you how good they are. Oh. I love the crunch on top. Ever so slightly hint of the allspice, but definitely cinnamon. But anyway, I hope you give these whole wheat banana muffins a try. So anyway, check it out over at Amy Roloff's Little Kitchen, my YouTube channel. Thanks.